don't fall. Oops. Let's see. It's quite early. Good morning. Hi, everyone. I'm trying to do some cleanups before I have to do another cleanup. Today is all about cleaning and packing, but the electrician is going to be coming in tomorrow. So I have to get my, I have like fake clouds on the ceiling of my workroom because I work in a basement and it just makes it look happy. So I have to remove those and remove my Tangle lights. I have like paper lanterns from Tangle on the ceiling as well. And I need to cover up all my machines so that way there's no dust, nothing could fall on them. So I have like a little bit of a cleaning project to do this morning. And then I'm trying to put something together for the people that are going to be going to North Carolina. I had this idea that came to my head last night, and I'm trying to make that happen. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I'm really excited about. I can't believe like this time tomorrow I'll be like on my way driving to DC to get ready to go on a plane. And like the plane is my Kindle keeps freaking me out because this is the first small plane I've ever been in. Like I've always been in just regular size planes. I've never been in a jumbo and I've never been in no, take that back. I was on a jumbo once when I was like young, but I don't remember it. Like I'm talking about toddler status, but this plane like when you look at the seating charts, there's only 2 seats in each row. And I'm like, Kendall, is that normal? He's like, oh yeah, it's just a small plane. He's like, it's probably because the people commuting from DC to North Carolina, whatever. And I'm like, I've never been on a small plane. So he decides to tell me all his little turbulence horror stories on small planes. I should mention I have high anxiety as it is. So yeah, there's that. But I'm excited to go. I'm really, really excited. Um, so today I'm doing like really mundane things. I'm just trying to pack up any last orders, like get pictures of the tester bags I've had, really sweep and scrub down my mats and scrub down the tables and cover everything up before the electrician comes, and just get everything I need to get out of the way. Then just doing regular stuff today and just relaxing and chilling with the puppies because Lord knows Loki's gonna act a donkey when he doesn't see me. That's my boy though. Um. Oh yeah. You know what I need to do? Does Sonar's pattern come out today? I seen her post on Facebook, and that pattern looks so pretty. It's like a crossbody, and it's not really. It doesn't have a lot of depth, but it looks so pretty. I wonder if that comes out today. I I love her patterns. Her writing style is very easy to follow, and she just comes out with really beautiful shapes. It does. That's how it works. I was like looking at it earlier. I'm sorry. I'm trying to. My phone is like I despise my phone. I can't wait to the next upgrade. Like, I think it's just me in electronics though. But then I don't want to say that because me and my laptop are amazing and I get along with my tablet. It's just the printer and my phone. Yes, so many patterns are coming out. But they're all like really really unique. Like honestly, like Alexis's two wallets, I have never seen a wallet clutch shaped like that before. She really thinks outside the box. She kind of reminds, she's like always couture to me. Like I always feel like she's a couture pattern. Every time you guys see me, I have something all over my clothes. I want to say it's the kids, but I can't. It would be a lie. Yeah, this crossbody is super cute. Um, oh my god, that one's gorgeous. Let me see if I can blow it up. Look at that one. That's gorgeous. That's beautiful. She's gonna make me want to do buy a pattern and sew one today, and I'm trying to do like a no sew today. I don't know how well that's gonna go over. I freak out. So it is my therapy, but I am going to be deep cleaning all my machines today, putting the covers on all my machines today, um, sweeping, mopping, you know the drill. Yes, that is the one from Sonar. I think it's called the Castillo. Castillo. I can't now. I'm telling you, my phone. It wants me to throw it on the floor. That's yeah. It's a crossbody pattern, and it's really slim. I like the way it is. It has two. There's two different. There's a slim and a wide. So you get like a twofer. I love when people do that in patterns, like when there's a small and a large, or like something that's wider. And it looks like she did that. I want to see how that comes together. Now I know what I want to make. That pattern looks beautiful. I love all her patterns. Her patterns do really well for me when I'm at conventions because she has a tendency of not making really large bags. It's more like everyday kind of bag. Like if you were to come over my house right now and grab my wallet, I have her wallet. I've had her wallet for 2 years and I refuse to change it. Now I do want to update it. I still want to do the black cork with the rainbow iridescent, and I did have iridescent edge paint all over it. I now want though, because I made somebody else the wallet and they wanted the RFD fabric in it. And they also wanted the flap to be a little bit firmer. So I put some Craft Tex on the bottom portion and on the top, like the bottom portion of the top. And that bag wallet feels amazing. Now, that same person showed it to her sister, and her sister was like, I love the wallet, but I wish it had a little bit more softer feel. So I put packing foam. It's really, really thin and the top and the bottom with the RFD and the Craft Tex, and that wallet is chef's kiss. And so I keep saying I'm going to make me one, but I never have any time to make myself anything. But that is my favorite wallet to have. The wallet I had before that was the NCW, and I love that wallet. But there's something about that. The Triskel wallet to me is perfection. It is absolutely perfection. And then I making it so many different times. Now I have like different tips and tricks on how to get certain things flatter. And I don't know. That's a great wallet for me to sell. And a lot of people like the way how it functions. And I like the fact that it is just cork, just like cork or vinyl. There's no anything extra. So the Trisco wallet does well. The tall wallet does really well for me. All her wallets do incredible. Like next week, I'm going to be like making the wallet key fob with any extra magnets I have. So that way those could be sold at AwesomeCon as well. So all of her stuff always does really well for me. Her patterns are like perfection. I know. I think I seen the one that Shell and Bella has out. It's a very, 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 very pretty bag. I like the structure of it. I'm a sucker for anything with grommets. I love grommets in the bag, and I love piping. I absolutely love piping. Um, I was watching a video on Instagram because Maggie 55 was showing her cutting out her pattern, but then I just like went through her previous ones and I was watching her sky of leather and for piping, and I'm always amazed when people are able to do all these creative things. And yeah, Shambella's bag looks really pretty. I've seen some some tester posts yesterday, and all of the testers did a phenomenal job. Mm. Yeah, it's the simplicity. That's the reason there's there you could like different designers for different things. And the reason why I kind of put Nicole Sonar, Georgia Girl Stitch, and Noodlehead and Country Cow kind of in the same like simplicity, natural products. They're really into it. Like you see Noodlehead using like leather handles, but all her stuff is wax canvas or cotton. She doesn't really use vinyl of any sort. So uh, Georgia Girl Stitch is the same way, like wax canvas, and then the inside are duck canvas and whatever. And same with there's same with Country Cow. They have more of a simple natural aesthetic, and I always gravitate to that because I love cork. I love wax canvas or oilskin. I love working with cottons. It's like this is I use only waterproof canvas when I am doing a tutorial. But if you look in any of my regular bags, if anyone really purchases a bag from me that's on here, they'll tell you Shinova uses cotton. I love color inside of a bag and I love prints. That's why I like the wallets I showed you yesterday. They all have like just crazy cotton prints because I love cotton. I love wax canvas. If I had endless resources, I would only be sewing with leather, cork, and oilskin or wax canvas with duck cloth for the interior. They're just my favorite products. So when I see these people like making these patterns that are really going towards using more natural, organic materials, I'm like, yes. And when I think of Sonar, I just kind of put her in the same bracket as like Noodlehead and like I said, Georgia Girl Stitch and Country Cow, where they're just this organic aesthetic, and I love it. Yeah, Jenny Green makes a lot of beautiful patterns as well. Yes, you definitely want to try the Triskel. She has an exclusive video that goes with the pattern, and she breaks it down step by step. Um, it's a beautiful wallet and it comes together so like once you're done like there's like you want to pop your collar, like it feels good, like it's a good. I've had the wallet for almost 2 years plus and it looks like it's still brand new. And I'm an abuser of wallets. Like I'll stuff like 80 cards in one slot. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was pulling out cards the other day for my slot and I was like, I don't even think this gift card is valid anymore. It expired in 2020. So my card, like I just stuff everything in it. So that's why I appreciate that wallet. And I like the center divider with the little zipper. And then there's like your ID wallet. It comes together really pretty. You shouldn't be intimidated by piping. It's practice makes progression. Just take your time. As long as you have a zipper foot and you're willing to go slow and not rush, you'll be surprised of how well you can make it work. Well, see, piping doesn't is not that thick. This a lot of when I make piping, a lot of the time I'm making it like bias tape, and there is no cotton. It's just cotton, no interfacing, and then you put the piping. So you're only adding like 2 layers of cotton woven if you're using cotton. If you're using like leather, you're only using 2 layers of leather. Same with cork, I think, and you could do a vinyl. Don't have the best luck with vinyl because vinyl has less stretch than a lot of other materials. So it's a lot more snipping like into the seam, into the piping so it can be more flexible. But it's only 2 layers you're sewing through. So it's not that thick. Depending on what you're doing, just 2 layers of cotton or 2 layers of vinyl. That's all you're adding on. Yeah, I like sleek and minimal. The Marcel barrel bag. I made one of that bag. It's really nice. Yeah, Kasai has a really good thing with like the faux vinyl. I think I've seen that. Like the faux piping, and that's really cool too. But it's the same thing. If you're willing to do the faux piping, you can do the piping because your machine is never really going through the cording itself. It's going through the 2 layers, the same thing as a faux piping. Yeah. She does faux piping. And it's the same thing. If you just stuck cording in it, it just now is piping versus faux piping, and your needle's never really supposed to come in contact with the piping itself. You could practice. Like I said, practice makes progression. Grab some scraps out of the scrap bin, cut a piece on a bias, put some cording in it, and trust me, I've used all kinds of cording. You know, like the plugs, the chargers that come in, and then they're no longer valid because Apple or um, Google doesn't use that charger anymore. I take the metal, the little plug ends out, and I've used that for piping inside. I have used there's tons of line different like trims at Joann's for like making for line doing line laundry, and I use that for piping, and it's just two layers. That if you put it that simplistic in your head, it'll be easy for you. You'll be like, oh, it's only two layers. That's it. That's all you're sewing through is two additional layers. And that's why I usually use cotton because it makes even that thinner. I do cork and I do vinyl. I have never made leather piping, but I'm going to be after watching Maggie 55's short on her Instagram. So I'm really excited about that. I like piping a lot. It gives it a nice I don't know, it gives it a really nice finish. It gives it different textures and dimensions, which can make the bag even more intriguing than what it is. So I'm all for it. I like the feature of the piping on the Shimbella one. It looks very similar to me, like the piping style on the Blue Calla um, backpack. What is that backpack called? I make it all the time. Oh my goodness. But yeah, Blue Calla's theme has the same thing where there was piping on the side seams on the front and the back. And I love that way that looks. It has actually kind of a similar shape, but they're different. So the Blue Calla one has two magnets on the side to give it that cinched in shape, and it looks like I don't have the Shambella pattern, so I'm just going off of what I've seen in pictures. It has like what six grommets, and then when you cinch it in with your drawstring, each is absolutely gorgeous. I love a drawstring finish. I love a magnetic finish. I like all finishes. I'm not biased on any of them. I'm just like all of them are great. So I'm here for the piping. And when I seen sonars with the piping, was it on Monday or Tuesday? I was like, holy crud, this is amazing. Very slim look and just giving that extra oomph, that extra dimension. Yeah, you use what cut that most if you go into Joann's, if you go into the piping section, it's all cotton. They don't it's you use cotton like even when I think about it, if you have any pajamas, like I like to make classic Christmas pajamas, and there's usually piping in the collar and piping in the wristlet part. So they're all cotton. So it's just it is bias tape, like cutting on the bias and then putting the piping in between. That's it. There's no stabilizer, there's no nothing. It's the same thing if you were to cut vinyl or cut cork. And I even cut cork on the bias because if I cut it straight across, it's not going to give. And then I have to make little snips all the way around. So if I cut it at an angle, like a 60-degree angle, there's a slight stretch, which makes it curve easier around any seams. Yeah, I use cotton cork. I don't like. I'll do vinyl if it's like a softer vinyl, like Lauren Mormino's or Indo Loves, where it's not marine vinyl. Marine vinyl is so hard for me to make piping because it's so thick. It's so thick, and I do it, I do it, but it's a pain in the rear end. Yeah, I like making piping on waterproof canvas. With waterproof canvas, I actually do cut on the bias too. A slight bias, but it makes all the difference in the world because there is a slight give when you go on the bias cut. So yeah, I do that too. It's two layers. As long as you just keep saying it's two layers, then that's it. You just pass over your mental roadblock and you got it. Good morning. Yeah, so you should definitely try it. When I come back, probably after AwesomeCon, I'll try to make that a Nova's Nugget. It's because, like, literally, I think people are intimidated by it, but my thing is, if you know how to bind, you know how to do piping now. Um, it's it's that it's they're the pretty much the same. That's why a lot of machines that do bias cuts or whatever, they have like quote unquote like what measurements you would do for piping. But yeah, all raw edges folded together with whatever cording you have in the middle, and you're ready to go. Yes, Natalie has some. I only got to mess with her. I think it was Moonglow, and it was very nice. I haven't purchased a lot from her. I purchased the cork. I purchased some. It said it was like a charcoal, but it was not charcoal. It said like a dark gray or crackle or crack pepper, but it was black. There was some hints of gray tones in it. I like that cork. It was very, very thin. And I can appreciate thicker cork and thinner cork, just like I can appreciate thinner leathers, faux leathers, and thicker ones. It is on the thinner side, but because I was able to um, bind the top of my bag so easily because there was a little bit of a stretch. So I would definitely purchase it again and possibly purchase more just to make some piping. She has beautiful colors. Every time I look at So Hungry Hippies her website, I'm just like she just has really gorgeous colorways, and I'm all for that. I like having something that's unique and special just to you. No, I don't have one, but you could definitely watch the owner Noodlehead. If you put Noodlehead in there, you'll see the bag, and she has a really good breakdown. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's been a while because I remember when I purchased the pattern, her video came out. I think the video breaks down either in 4 or 5 videos, and you're like, wait, no, that's a lot. No, the she's a phenomenal teacher, and she really holds your hand and walks you through the process. And I think she even shows you how to do the drop in or do the hand sewing. And I love the hand sewing one. So she gives you different ways you can make it. Um, yeah. I can't promise that because I have like a whole list of Nova's Nuggets. I could definitely put it on my list, but if you're having a hard time with that lining, again, Noodlehead did make a phenomenal tutorial, and I'll ask her for me to make a future video. She's really awesome, and she always says yes to me. So and I appreciate that. But she did a phenomenal video series, and I believe I didn't watch the video series. I'm going off of what when I posted my Sandhill tote, there were some talk conversations happening in the Noodlehead group, and then I was just like reading them. Because I always like going into the Noodlehead group because everyone always has like the coolest cotton wovens ever. If you ever want to like see some really inspiring bags with cotton, go into the Noodlehead group. So I was in there and they were talking about the video, and I believe in the fourth or fifth video, don't quote me, I think it's either 4 videos total or 5. On the last video, she really breaks down how to do the lining, how to do it with the drop in, how to do it with the hand sewing closure, and I think one other method, if I'm not mistaken. We're gonna do the drop in. We're gonna do the drop in, but if someone does not feel comfortable with the drop in, we can do the other ones. But the drop in, I'm telling you, for me, if I like, you can ask anybody I test with. When you talk to Shinova from 2 or 3 years ago, I hated drop ins, and the reason why I said that because I was afraid. Does that make sense? Sometimes when we're afraid, we say we hate something because it's easier to cope with than saying that I'm afraid that I can't do it. So I challenged myself one time and I did it. And because the way the bags opens up, it became the easiest drop in I ever did. And then after that, I started doing drop ins left and right. That bag is like a perfect bag to do a drop in because either you're making this bag out of cotton or wax canvas or some kind of woven material, and it is so forgiving. And once you do it once and then you figure out your technique, you're going to try to do drop in linings on every single bag. It is, it's just, it's pretty amazing. I have, you know what's funny? I've bind one bound bag with it, and I like the way it was. It was fun. But I did like the drop-in because and I but I also am a person that likes hand sewing because I think you can get the best of visible stitch by hand sewing versus machine. But I've done her by hand sewing as well as just the drop-in and sewing it on top of the zipper. Because it's so wide, you can do it on a domestic or an industrial. It's just patience is a virtue. I can definitely ask her if I can do a tutorial later on. It probably be after the convention season, because we all know that that's all I talk about during it because that's how I express my anxiety and how I cope my fears is by talking. So yeah, I can definitely ask her if I can do that. It's a great bag to make. It's a good seller. It's a good size. What's funny is when the pattern first came out, I was like, these bags are tiny. When I held one, I was like, okay, this is a pretty good size. It held like a regular water bottle. Actually, I'm not gonna say water bottle. I had a Coke can in it. I'm not gonna lie. I had a Coke can, and it had some other little knickknacks and candy in my first one, and it held really well. I like drop-ins now. I didn't like them back then. Like, I hated drop-ins. Like, 2 years ago, I absolutely hated them, and it was because I was afraid of them. But once you get them, you're like, "No, turning the bag." Yes, I think that's the appeal of binding. I think that people are, sometimes don't correlate the 2, but the reason why I think so many people prefer binding is the same reason why people prefer drop-ins. You're not birthing it, and the structure. So eh, I feel like with Noodlehead is a perfect way to do it because you're not dealing with a lot of stabilizers, so it's not difficult to try to maneuver and smush the bag to get it in its way. And actually, smushing the bag works out because if you're using waxed or oilcloth, you're getting these nice crinkles, and it gives your bag a more rugged, vintage, lived-in effect. No, it's on. Just put Noodlehead in Facebook. I mean on YouTube. Noodlehead Patterns, and then you'll see all of her videos. She has a lot of videos. I actually wanted to sit down today and look at her the bum bag that she just came out with. I think the bag just starts with a C, I think. But I like the shape. It doesn't look like normal fanny packs. It's a very unique shape, and I liked her fabric on it, and that's how I go down rabbit holes with her because I like her fabric, and that's how I found out this. She has like a fabric line. I didn't know So Sweetness had a fabric line until a couple of I was reading her in her profile on the So Sweetness where you could purchase patterns and items, and she has a fabric line from like way back when, and I'm like, now I'm going to be searching aimlessly for this fabric. Yeah, and that's why you have to try it. I always say conquer your fears and work with other people, but I feel like this is the perfect bag to do a drop in because it's smushable. When you have a super structure bag that's a drop in, that's when I even hold my breath when I'm top stitching, telling you to not hold your breath. But we're probably gonna hold our breath together. But when it's like smushy, you can just like squish it down and maneuver it so that it can work out with you. And then if your lining is wax canvas, I mean, if your lining is waterproof canvas and or cotton, you can use pins to hold everything in place. And now they have the pins that you can sew over. Every time I sew over them, I literally have a panic attack every single time. Yeah, leather. Oh my God. You know who sews beautiful bags by hand? Her name is Jillian. If you're in the Facebook groups, like in creative bag making, so whatever, or she just pops in. She's a professor. She is amazing. I met her. I finally got to meet her in person at So Magical, Florida last year. She is epic, and she's such a beautiful beacon of light. She is so optimistic, and she just makes you smile when you're around her. She makes the most gorgeous handheld sewing leather bags I've ever seen in my life. Like she is goals. Like I want to be her when I grow up on so many different levels. Oh, thank you, Lynette. I wanted to give an honest review, and like literally, I've been HTVing everything right now. My cart runneth over and full on Etsy. There's so many cute HTVs that you could purchase, right pre-made and whatever. And like I said, I've been going to Three Bobbins because I can get my nerdy stuff on. She has like really cool nerdy stuff when her retail is open. I have other people telling me that there are really good fandom groups that are starting to have sublimation prints or HTV prints that you can use on anything. I'm hoping some other like these bigger names start doing it because it would be so cool to have like sweaters that I don't have to get someone to make it, that I could just place it on a sweater that I like this particular brand and put it on my shirt. I think it would be amazing. I do know some groups have it, but not like a whole lot. And I'm always trying to get more information from other people so that way I can present it to everyone else. But that little press, okay, so I already told you with my press that I have that I got off of Amazon, I've already told you my if you're gonna get a heat press, one, go to a place that makes t-shirts make t-shirts. Get your heat press from a t-shirt person because they're gonna tell you how accurate everything is, and if that's part of their business of selling t-shirts and HTV, these are the places you want to go. Amazon, I know we gravitate to because it's free shipping, but it's situations like that that make me upset because all of my machines I never got on Amazon. I went through Steve from Sewing Gold. All of like machines like this, I went to like Leather Weaver, actual reputable brands that can give you a warranty with your stuff. But my only thing that does not have a warranty is my heat press. And there is a serious cold spot in the middle and on the side. So like when I'm trying to fuse interfacing, there'll be like you'll see where it's fused and there's like a bubble where there's no fusing. So I have to move it and press it. It takes so much time trying to get all the things pressed. That's why I'm always ironing. Why you guys are always seeing me ironing my interfacing on because my heat press is basically now a weird heater in the winter. So when I mentioned this to you guys, someone from HTV Ron was like, "Hey, we heard your video. Would you like to try our portable heat press?" And I'm like, "Okay." Now I've seen that Cricut had one, and I know there's people that swear by it, and it's really crazy because a couple of times at So Magical Florida, I seen so many people have this small little one with that like it doesn't look like an iron, but it I don't know. It looked like a little charging station. That's the best way I can say, but it was like fusing like mad crazy faster than the Oslo or the all the irons. I was like, what is this? And then somebody in the cutting room had the Cricut um the one that's similar to the one I have that I got from HTV Ron. So I was curious and I was looking into those in November and December. Um, and lo and behold, this offer was presented to me. And first and foremost, blue's my color. So I was already enamored with it because of the color. And two, I was surprised how fast it heats up. That's why I showed the timing on like on my like video because I did not believe it the first time. I thought it was going to for sure take 10 to 15 minutes to heat up, but it was like under 3 minutes to heat up at 305. And then I got to explain a couple of different things because I have people always messaging me about when I use HTV about when they used it, when they try to peel the thing off, the it came up and whatever. So I got to explain a little bit about cold pill and hot pill, which I feel like is very important and doesn't get spoken about a lot because you really need to pay attention to the instructions to wherever you buy your sublimations or your HTV. So I played around with it. I used it a lot on waterproof canvas and cork. The only material I did not use it on is vinyl. And I think I have an idea on how I can try it, but I'm also freaking out because I don't want to like melt a mat or melt something because it's not it's it's not worth it. But I also got to show you how I do my heat press on my cutting table because someone always asked me. My husband is really good with wood, so he made me all these different like wood butcher blocks, and I could put things on there, and the heat never gets penetrated down to my table or my mat. So just like, and that's a really good budget friendly thing. You don't even need a woodworker. You can go to like Lowe's, Home Depot, or whatever hardware stores near you and ask them to, give you some 2x4s and to cut it up so that you could place it on your mat and you can iron and do whatever. Oh, I know. I'm loving it too. I want, literally, I'm not gonna lie to you. After I got this, all I want now is our heating press. Because I after I was finishing with mine, I was like, I wonder who else had it. So of course, a lot of people in the t-shirt world and the sublimation world had it. I seen their freaking 15 by 15, and like it's a drawer you push in and it auto does the auto pressure. And I'm like, holy heck. And then I seen someone do the rhinestones, and like there's features you could put in to make sure that they know that's a higher temperature. I'm just like, it makes sense. And if you're like me, someone that forgets sometimes to unplug things, I kid you not, you can ask my anyone in my family at least 3 times a week. You hear me going, oh spit, oh spit, oh spit, running down the stairs because I just dawned on me that I left my iron on down here. And my biggest fear is like a fire. And if you don't believe that there's fires out in our sewing world, just look in Facebook. There are so many people that have tragedies off of like their glow forge or their heating press or something catching fire. And I don't want to ever like cause harm to anyone in my house or my house. So you hear me, oh spit, oh spit, oh spit, and I'm like coming down and unplugging everything. I unplug everything. I even unplug my machines because my work, I have an overactive imagination. So in my head, the day I don't unplug my bigger machines is the day that it's going to flood. And it won't ruin the machine, but it'll ruin the motor. So I would have to replace the motors. And these motors are not cheap. They're like, I always get the more horsepower, more control needle up down position. And those suns run up to like $300. But I always think that's going to cause some kind of electrical thing, and all the electricity is going to be blown out in the house because of me. So the fact that that thing auto turns off, like, gives me some weird peace of mind because we forget. At least I do. I'll be so focused on making the bag, and then when I'm done, I'm like, I want to show it to my husband and my kids. I'm like, do you think it's cute? What kind of pictures we're gonna do? Next thing you know, I'm not paying attention that I had something plugged in, and either my husband has to unplug it, or you hear me running down the stairs saying, "Oh, spit." Oh, yeah, there's a lot of people that have that. I will look in we'll look in creative bag making. There was a whole discussion on that. And I believe some of the people I really love bag makers, like I believe Not at Thread, if I'm not mistaken, I think she has like the old one that you have for steam, but the trick is you never put water in it for steam. If I'm not mistaken, I don't have that one, but I believe the trick is never putting water in it, and it just works very similar to a press. Yes, oh my God. And it's because it's the Amazon ones, because there's not anyone tied to them. So, like I told you, with the cutting machine, if you're looking for an electric cutting machine like a Cricut, whatever, don't go off of what everybody says. Do research. There are even higher ends. There's like the Silver Bullet, there's the Sizer one. There's so many different levels. And my recommendation would be go to a person that cuts t-shirts. And I know again, everyone's like, why? Because they use the machine more heavily than anyone else. Look at paper crafts is easier. Like, it's people will be like, go to someone that paper craft, but paper crafts, they don't use the same kind of thickness of materials as we do. So when I look at t-shirt people, they're putting rhinestones, glitter, sublimation, HTVs. They're doing appliques on the shirt. They're using very similar materials as we are. So, and sometimes they even cut out their own artillery templates for placements on shirts. So I would look into these different ones, and there's newer ones that if you're not afraid to grow with someone like Sizer, like they already have two people are testing it on right now on leather and even chipboard. And the interesting thing about that machine is it has the same thing that everyone likes about Brother. What I like about Brother Scan and Cut is that it has a camera in there so you can see exactly what you're scanning, take the image and place it exactly where you want. And or you can scan a piece of art and it can get ready to cut. Sizer has a camera in the back, meaning that eventually it's going to do the same thing as Brother. And once it does, I think it's going to knock Brother right out of the pocket, because everyone that has a Romeo or a Juliet tells me the cut is beautiful, the sound is barely there, and they have, I believe, either Romeo or Juliet is up to 20 or 24 inches. So like look into different ones. And this is the same thing I'm feeling about the heat press. HTV Ront deals with people that are doing with sebillation, rhinestones, all that. So their heat presses are made to gauge so many different temperature. There was no cold spots on that thing. I had cold spots in the very beginning of my machine, and I just refused to turn it back in. It was too much of a hassle. That son of a biscuit eater weighs a lot, okay? So I didn't do it. And now I have a machine that's basically a paperweight. So there are going to be people that get it off of Amazon and like have the best experience ever. I'm just giving you a different experience. No bashing anyone that has got it off of Amazon and they have the best experience. I'm just telling you mine. I did get the biggest one, the 16 by 20, and I was so excited. And then just one day, it would not fuse any interfacing. And I was like, okay, well, like, let me unplug it and let me like reset it. And it just had cold spots. Like it only, and then it cooks the outer side, like the outside of the cold spot, it's hotter. So I got one, we have the thermometer, you scan the head. If I put it on 305, there's areas that are super cold that don't even reach 200, but there are areas on the outside of the perimeter that reach almost 400 when it's on a setting of 305. So there's things like that. And I'm a curious person, and I'm not a person that I don't let something go. I have to try to figure it out. So this is me doing all this, trying to figure out why. And I wrote the manufacturer, and they're like, oh, you're past your warranty thing. We're sorry. Sometimes that can happen. And that was the end of the conversation. But yes, I did the thermometer thing on the highest setting. It's just, there's nothing I can do about it. Oh, that's so cool. Adding the extra pan, I was going to ask about that. I know I did see someone trying to use a bigger one for a sweater, and honestly, I wanted to do that because one, I live in sweaters from fall through winter, and I like the nerdier the sweater, the better. I love it. So somebody was doing like the puffy, like it's like a puffy paint like HTV thing, and they were able to get the sweater in if they do like this roll method, and they had to add a pad for it. I was like also super intrigued because I'm not a t-shirt maker or whatever. I'm not going to even pretend to be. I would just like the opportunity to put something nerdy on all my clothes because I'm a nerd. But like I love watching paper crafts and t-shirt crafts and shoe crafts because it gives you ideas what we could do in the bag making world. Oh, yes. So I did fuse interface with it. It was cool. Now, because it's not a big plate, you're going to have to do spot by spot, but it's faster than an iron because the iron you don't have a 10 by 10 area. So yeah, I fused, actually fused. I was surprised on this because with usually when I'm using fleece, you need to add a spritz of water. I don't know why it just does not fuse if I don't do that. I put it on. I was at, what was it, 315 or 330, and it fused that whole thing faster than I could do with the iron. Because with the iron, I'm sitting here like pressing on it and trying to get it to fuse, and it was like bada bing bada boom. I was like, oh yeah. I interfaced SoFuse Plus to some cork to give it a little bit more structure, and it went by fast. I was really intrigued by that. I thought it was pretty good. So that's like, so for me, I feel super grateful because now I have a little bit faster way to interface my fabric and to put something different on my bags. And I believe if you look in the video, if you go into the description and you hit the link and use the code, you get like either 10% off or $15 off, one of them. And it's not bad. It's not, I think it's a budget friendly version, and especially I get a lot of people asking me, what can I get? I don't have a sewing room. I sew from the kitchen table and I pack everything up. I think this is your thing. You can just put it up in the cupboard and nobody wouldn't even know you had it. And it's crisp. It's pretty crisp. I even took Kindle. I like to test things out, so I took one of Kindle's work shirts. Man, it looked like I sprayed that bad boy with heavy starch. I was like, okay, I see you. I see you. Yeah, I was like, I tried like ridiculous. You get when people ask me to test out like cork or vinyl, you would not believe the test I do, like water test, giving it to Loki and playing tug of war test. Like I'm curious because I don't want to say this is the best vinyl ever and then it cracks and you're like, Shnova, you told me it was good. Um, I like testing things out too. Yeah, rhinestones. There is one. There's this rhinestone Lilo, no, rhinestone stitch that's on Etsy that I've been eyeing. And they have the girl stitch too that's all rhinestones. You kind of put it in a higher temperature like you're doing sublimation, but once you open up that Etsy door, you will not be able to shut it. You're gonna be like, what? And I'm not, I don't get me wrong, we could probably cut them out ourselves, but I'd rather pay a small business that already have things pre-made and I could buy multiples and do it. But I have this rhinestone stitch bag that I want to do so bad. Like so bad. And then they have like the cutest stuff. I seen a baby Yoda. They have really cool stuff on Etsy. And I'm just like, I'm gonna find my favorites. I need someone to do a rhinestone for like Tula Pink or something, like one of the animals or a flower or something. Yes, yes. That those are we had so in one of the when I was opening one of the days of Christmas, Kendall was downstairs watching me, helping me film the location so that way I can get an aerial shot of the gift. And all of a sudden, I'm like, Kendall, do you smell that? And he's like, smell what? And I have the worst sinuses. I'm congested like 99% of the time. Um, and I smelled like something electrical burning. And then he turned around because he took the extension cord from the washroom and it was sparking. Now, I didn't do the best thing. I should have grabbed a wooden handle, but I immediately pulled the wire. I know. Okay. And I got it to come apart because it was already fusing. But since then, I unplug everything and I do try to double check. And if I don't, then I'm like texting someone to go downstairs and make sure everything's unplugged because it happens. We forget. That's human. Everyone's like, oh, I'm not going to forget. Well, that is awesome because I make mistakes and I forget. So now I just double check. And then when you see feeds in your, posted in your thing, like people losing everything because they had something plugged in or it was an electrical fire, you're just like, I'm so sad. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm trying to learn and things that can automatically shut off, that is a good feature. Now I understand that sometimes when we're ironing, we don't want that to happen. But then the way they're making these new machines, they're not taking like forever and a day to get hot. So just have that peace of mind that yes, it could be aggravating if you're in a current project and it comes off, but that peace of mind that your house won't be set on fire because of it should be good. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Oh, yeah, I'm like that too. I'm like, why is a blender plugged in? No one used it today. I'm the same way. My house is, this community was built in like 1972, right? So we have a lot of older electricity, not like old, but a lot of old, the case in point, when we got our house fixed and someone messed with one wire, my workroom, I only use things one plug at a time right now. And the bathroom, the guest bathroom, the outside door lights, and the TV in the living room, there's no electricity in that area. So the guy's coming tomorrow to fix it. But it's been like a 4 week process and it is not cool. Um, we have an older home, so that's why I don't know. I'm really paranoid about things being plugged in. Yeah, surge protectors are lifesavers. Yes. Okay. So that you know what, Melissa, tell your story because I think people need to hear this. The thing is that Amazon is a best friend enemy. The best friend because like if you need something real quick, you can get it faster than sometimes anywhere else. But the enemy is because they're like Netflix. Like, think about it. You never streamed or like purged a whole TV series before until Netflix, and now we expect it from regular shows. Like, I want to have all the episodes out, because we're not used to what we grew up with something being weekly new. Netflix spoiled us, and so it's like a love-hate relationship. Same thing with Amazon. We weren't used to getting packages the same day or in 2 days and free shipping. And now that we're used to it, we expect small businesses to do the same thing that this big business does now. Um, so with that being said, Amazon themselves, whenever I talk to them, if I have an issue, they have all these people that create an Amazon account. They have people that get paid to make false reviews. And we're like looking at the reviews, looking at the shipping time, and we're like, cool, score. We don't have to pay for shipping. We don't have to wait for a long period of time to get it. And we have situations like this that you paid two, $300, $400 for a press, and it's 2 years later and it's basically a paperweight. Like, that heat regulation like freaked me out so bad that I actually did not, after October, I stopped using it altogether, because after I started doing the heat gun, um, with the reading, and I had it at 305, and the middle was no more than like 225, and the outside was like 405, and this temperature set at 305 degrees. I was like, this is not safe, and it did smoke too. And then, so like somebody in here mentioned like, be careful what's smoking around you when I was melting something, because we're inhaling that, and I don't know, I can't. That's why I'm really happy about the little press, and hopefully, I'll do well enough at AwesomeCon where I can possibly buy the bigger press. Um, how did I interface it? Okay, so I did not use vinyl and interface it. So I'm going to be 100% honest with that. I have not tried vinyl with it, because I am afraid of vinyl, because my heat press, and it could be just because my heat press maybe was bad from the jump and I just didn't recognize it. It would like melt vinyl no matter what temperature. I could put it at 300 or 250 and it would just annihilate it, even with the like the where the right side is facing down on the mat. It would just melt it. Like, you would be able to see my fingerprints if I pulled it off. um so what I would do is I would have, depending on the interfacing, like let's use Monica's Sofuse. I believe her directions say 325 for 10 seconds, and I would do that on cork, waterproof canvas. um I've done it with, of course, cotton and canvas, but I didn't really do it on vinyl, because I had like the first couple times I tried with vinyl, it just melted. And I can't say it's the press, because I see people like Monica and Lauren Mormino able to press, and their vinyls are not messed up. I think it was just my press, and I just didn't want to. I didn't want to see it for what it was, but it did press cotton and canvas and cork and waterproof canvas. Waterproof canvas to me like is the best fuse ever. Like, I swear to you, I don't know if it because it slightly melts and the two adhesives adhere, but the best like I have fused fleece, everything, batting, everything to waterproof canvas, and it's always amazing to me. Yeah, that's very lucky, Jenny. I like I know the next day you're probably all paranoid, like, oh my God, I can't believe I left that on. Yeah, the pressure is the thing that makes me want to get there's no other one that I've seen. Because I've been looking, I like to now look at YouTube reviews, because you can see the actual features versus like looking at it on the screen. And then on top of it, if someone is like affiliate with that program, I like to purchase through the person I'm looking at YouTube, because if they get a small kickback, then that's like additional income for them. And I appreciate them making a video where I'm able to see it versus like just going to the website and seeing absolutely nothing except pictures. Um, so when I seen the HTV Ront like 15 by 15 and they have it in a light baby blue, I almost lost my mind. So I seen like where people were giving like great reviews, and I like to watch bad reviews and all that. But there's no reviews on people doing it in the sewing community, which I find interesting because I feel like that is a field that needs to be talked about more because we use heat tools more than I think anyone else. So I do the interfacing, um, like for whatever the interfacing instructions say. It's like if you get SoFuse, it's 10 to 15 seconds at 325, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have her card. I always keep the cards, even when I get HTV. I'll take the card and tape it to the box that holds it, so that way I always have the instructions. And if you don't have Monica's instructions, you also can go on her website and she will have it too for 10 to 15 seconds, and it fused beautifully. I again not I'm not too sure on vinyl, to be honest with you. Vinyl and my heat press is not, but when I do it all with an iron, I've fused Decovil Light, Decovil Heavy to my interfacing, and I usually use it on a cotton setting, and I'm having to put consistent pressure down and then pull it off and then like try to do a lift chest. So I'm usually ironing everything. Ooh, yikes. Melted the carpet is not good. Yes. Oh my gosh. That would so Terry, that would have been like I would that's so devastating, but you caught everything. Yes, I keep hearing that. So Maria, when I seen the little circuit press at I was trying to figure out. I was like, where did you guys get this? It looks like a tower, like the towers that I get when I'm staying at hotels to plug in all my stuff. I was like, what is this? And they were just like, and everything was fused. I was like, what the heck? I kind of want to get one of those for a sewing retreat or when I go to like Sew Magicals because I was kind of shook. I had no idea that they existed. And then I seen the 10 by 10 one at Sew Magical Florida in the sewing room, and I was blown away. And the temperatures like they got really hot, like because you need to for sublimation, sometimes you need to be at 405. It got there and it got there like less than 7 minutes. I'm like, wait, what? I feel what? And it was even consistent because we used it to interface the pat interface SoFuse and Decaville Light and SoFuse Plus, and it was fast. Yeah, well, we have electrician coming. We what happened was is when they made the deck, our wiring is right above my head, and someone accidentally snipped a wire. So that wire somehow only goes to like the right side of our house. It is the weirdest thing, but it doesn't affect any of the third story. So when we had a person up come by, we had two, and they were like, they snipped a wire, we need to replace it. And then also because of when they did the deck, we had like this, we had a slope like so here's the breaker box, and so when it rained all the water go this way, they accidentally evened it out, and so we had water going into our breaker box. So we had those two things, and now everything should get fixed tomorrow, and I'm really really unbelievably grateful because it's not bad. It's not having half your house not having electricity is not the end of the day. As long as the refrigerator and the freezer are okay and the kids can get their homework done, it's not a problem. It's a mild inconvenience for me because I can't sew and iron at the same time, which, believe it or not, is frustrating. But it's not a major problem. I can sew still. I just have to do different steps, and I'm grateful that someone's going to be able to come out tomorrow and fix it. Yeah, I have Gypsy, so like one of my Abuelita would unplug her TV every night, and it like I so maybe I think this is the reason why I like to unplug things because it was a weird habit. Yes, they don't have the best bargain, and they took away. I don't know when it happened, but you used to have like 100 and something days to return something. Now it's not. It's like 90 days or 60 days. One of them. They shorten it. It does traumatize you. See, oh my gosh, Jenny, I'm gonna have to get the big HTV wrong. Like I'm telling you. Well, also I want it in blue. You so blue. So, if I do really well on, I have like a really big strict budget of what I want to get with the what I sell at AwesomeCon. So I did an average after I've done AwesomeCon for 4 or 5 years. No, sorry, 5 years now. And I did an average of what I get. Every year I make more than I did the previous year. I've never made less. It's one of the reasons why I still attend the event. So if I just make what I made last year or the year before, um, I have like certain things I want to get. Like I definitely want to look into getting a sublimation or a better HTV printer, so that way I could do different demonstrations with that as well. I need to set. I can't wait till the electric person comes through because I can set up my projector. I got a used projector. It's a short throw, and I got it off of Poshmark. And Kindle's really excited about it because you can watch movies on it. But I got a used one, and because the school was getting new ones, so I was able to buy from a school, and then I was able to get it. And I'm really excited about showing you. I just haven't been able to put it up because of all this electricity thing. So I do want to get either a sublimation or a heat printer thing. But now I definitely want to get a press, and that's even what because I'm excited about the product that I got. I've used it a lot and it cools down so fast. And the thing that I liked about it, and I don't know if anyone else talks about it, is the caddy. Because the caddy has a lot of slits in it, it helps release the steam and the heat evenly, and it's like not melting the plastic or melting whatever surface is on. I thought that was pretty cool. Yes, they do have the mini handheld presses. I might have, I'm like, that might be something I definitely get. Oh my gosh, so Terry. Man. Yeah, Kendall lived in Louisiana a lot, so Hurricane Katrina took out so many of his family and friends, and it's a devastating situation. It's so devastating. Like every time today's June 1st, so we're the start of today's officially the start of hurricane season, and every time, and I think this might be a reason why I'm not a huge fan of summer. Every time it happens, I feel like I'm holding my breath until November the 1st. Like I feel like I am because it's inevitable. We our climate is not the best and things happen. But yeah, I am so sorry to hear that. I'm glad that you were able to get back on your feet. And I'm definitely dogs are amazing little creatures. I don't think we deserve them as humans, but the unconditional love and support they give us is amazing. Fur babies in general are amazing. Yes, I know. I made one. I will be showing. I should show it now. I made a Reba. I tested it. It's a beautiful pattern. I'm trying to figure out where I put the back. Hold on. Where did he put the bag? Oh, here it is. Never mind. I found it fast. I need to give it a good press. Hold on. The Reba. So with this bag, not best placement for that. You have a nice slip pocket, and inside the slip pocket, you have a hidden zipper pocket. The back has two straps that connect like this. Now you could make a longer one, like a 72-inch one, and have it go through. And but it also has your side. We have a 0 right here. And we have another zipper pocket, and we also have a nice slip pocket, and it's bound. Yeah, I love green. I like putting green with black so much. I feel like it always pops. So, yeah. And I'm also Nightmare Before Christmas, so you know I had to get something that had Oogie Boogie. Now, what I wish I would have done is put this an inch shorter than, so his head wouldn't be there, but it is what it is. And you can do a magnet or a twist lock or a cam snap or a 24 line snap or a fashion snap. So there's a lot of different options you could do. Then we have our side connectors. I got Jack there too. Um, and a double zip pocket. I love the way this backpack came together. It's not, I know she says it's a mini bag, but I feel like it's a good size bag. Like you could put a Chromebook or a tablet in here. I feel like this is a good bag for like if I'm going traveling and I'm on the plane and this is your personal luggage bag. You stick so many stuff in it. So yeah, I used my Handmade Space, the faux leather, and this green um Nightmare Before Christmas. I think it was 2 years ago when Notorious did it. The magnet is from Level Up hardware, and I used all of, and I think I got the Level Up for these two, the Chicago screws. And I used all of Emmeline's gunmetal hardware. I love Emmeline Bags hardware. It it never fails. Like her quality is superb. Yes, Terry, they are our angels. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jill. I know. So many family members of ours had to move or whatever, and they just never went back. It's hard. Yes, you're right. Amazon took away the charities, and they did it low key, and like nobody's really talking about it. You're right. Amazon stuff does not come when they say they are. Like it's like hold your breath. And I absolutely hate when they say it's out for delivery, right? And now it's like 7 o'clock in the evening, and you're like, still hasn't come. And then all of a sudden, as soon as it hit 8, it'll be like, oh, sorry, we weren't able to deliver. It will come in the next 2 days. And you're like, this is not what I pay Prime for. Yeah, thank you. I love the green. I know I love this Nightmare Before Christmas print, and then I did all the contrasting stitching in green. I just because black. It's a pretty cool bag. It is. It's a mini bag. It could. I have like thread still in here. I'll take that out later. So yeah, it's a mini size backpack. It's a good size. I think if it could fit a Chromebook, let me give you something for scale. Let me see. What do I have around here? Okay. This is 12 inches. So it's the size of a 12-inch ruler. So you can put like my kids' Chromebooks are like really small. They're like not even 12 inches. It's about 3.75 inches wide. Depth, I mean. And 9 inches across the width. So it's a mini size. It looks bigger just because I'm up close. But it's a nice size. It comes together brilliantly, like all the bag stock patterns. It's her tried and true method. I only thing that I did was a little bit different is that again, I thought these areas sometimes could be pinched because it's a whole bunch of material trying to get into a seam. So I took the top of the pattern and I extended it by 1/8 of an inch on each side, and it only went down to 1 inch. So what that means is that a picture. Okay, I'm trying. So picture this. This as being the pattern piece. I went 1 inch down and drew a line, and then I kind of angled this to 1/8 of an inch. And it's not very much, but it helps when there is a pocket and there's binding, so it does not pinch. Remember we talked about another bag that I was like, I like, but I'm not understanding the pitching. Somebody else mentioned it in the testing group, and I was like, it's not just me that's noticing this. And their trick was to make the top 1/8 of an inch longer on each side, about an inch down, and there's no pinching. Isn't that crazy? Just one little thing. This is why it's helpful to talk about issues, because somebody might have the solution that can be very simple that can change your mind and now want to get that pattern because you know how to fix that, And I did it and it worked out really well. And I really, really like the way it turned out. So yeah, it's a great bag. I love Nightmare Before Christmas. It's just everything. Let's talk all things bags. I love backpacks too. You know, that's like one of my favorite thing to make. Oh yeah, iPad Pro would be nice. Make it. Oh yeah, what you could do is make maybe a computer slip pocket, and use foam on the inside sleeve or batting or fusible fleece or thermolam to help also with the protection of it, and just like have a tab, like not a magnetic one, of course, but like a snap or a cam snap. That would be really cute. So, yeah, yeah, North Virginia. Oof. We all know on the East Coast today is what day it is. It's a lot of great things that happen on June 1st. That is the one that everyone on the East Coast is like, like, yay. But yeah, I think this will be cool. But I think if you did, like, you could basically, so okay, I'm gonna give you a modification fast thing. So, okay, that's how you want to make this for your iPad Pro or Chromebook. Take this flap in this pocket, keep it on the outside, but making it one for the inside. And now you have a sleeve just for your appliance. Easy, fast modification using the same pieces. And then just add fusible fleece or, like I said, thermolam is pretty thick. And just keep that out of your seam allowance. So I would keep it a half an inch on both sides and on the bottom, so that way it won't be in your seam allowance, but then you have the cushion so your computer can go into it. I know, I do know that, but you know what? Customers don't. So I get people all that's why I just let it go. I say it all the time. You can use a magnet, but there are some people that truly believe it that I don't know. So I know. So but like so you could do but a 24 line snap, I actually think like the sound of it. And our magnets are, you're right, definitely not strong enough. But that will be a good for your pro, just to make this on also the inside, and then you have a sleeve, and it's really cool. Just keep, like I said, the batting or whatever you use to insulate it to have protection out of your seam allowances, and you should be good to go. Yeah, I know. Oh, I trust me. I know. Like I get it all the time. I'll be like, it's not going to affect your credit cards, and they're like, can you just put in a snap? And I'm like, I can. So you do that, you please the customer. And it's just the same thing. Like the people will put the magnet for the sewing supplies on a computer, on a brother computer, and I was like, I've done that all. I have my embroidery scissors like right there, so I can get them or I'll lose them. And it's never messed anything up. And I actually brought it up to a brothers person who fixed brothers things. He was like, yeah, it doesn't mess with it. You should definitely make one. Backstock, backstock is try and true. Like I feel like if you get a pattern, it will never let you down because she has really good methods and she likes to change things up every now and again. Yeah, I think it'll be cool. Thank you. I love this backpack a lot. Um, yeah. So what I'm gonna do is stuff my face right now, clean and cover my all my machines, and get ready for tomorrow. There won't be a captain's log because by this time tomorrow I'll be just in the airport, and I think it'll be really weird talking to you guys amongst a lot of people that are gonna be looking at me like, why is she talking to herself? And I'm going on the plane with them. But when I do land and when I get into the class, I'll try to see if we can get a class photo or something and post it. I will do captain's log on Saturday and Sunday, but tomorrow I won't be. But I will definitely miss you. I will keep you guys posted. I'm excited about this retreat, and I hope everyone has a really, really good day and a really good tomorrow. And you guys can sew and be with family and be happy. So everyone stay safe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.